Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back. I'm Manny from Manny Reads Comics. Today, we're going to be talking about Savage Spider-Man number 2. Savage Spider-Man was written by Joe Kelly, I believe. Yes, and was drawn by Gerardo Sandoval. Art was pretty good. I will say that right off the bat. Inker Victor Nava, and someone who had a pretty good um, influence in this book, I would say, very not known, but the letterer is Travis Lanham, Lanham. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm sorry, but letterer really doesn't get much credit most of the time. But it's something that I notice from time to time, and with this book, definitely with that savage persona, the letterer did his job. So it's a good team. Joe Kelly usually does a pretty good job. But let me read you the synopsis of what this book is. It's called Web of Blood Part 2. Spider Man has gone from friendly neighborhood to terrifying jungle. Peter Parker has been mutated by horrible villains and is being hunted by one of the Marvel's greatest villains, Baron Zemo. Debatable. Anyways, but Peter's fighting back and he's taken over a tribe of monstrous victims just like him. And the power they wield, it's going to be awfully hard to be responsible. That's synopsis. I will say before I start off, if you haven't read Nonstop Spider-Man, you should definitely read that first before you read any Savage Spider-Man. Nonstop Spider-Man was a great book, great 5 issues. That's it. This continues right off from that. But unfortunately, I will say, giving you my rating of this, Savage Spider-Man was a 1 out of 5. And if you've heard me say it before, I'll say it again. A 1 for me means that it was bad. There was nothing good about this book. I guess I could say that it's a 1.5 because the art was pretty good, and again the lettering. But story wise, this book was just bad. I was angry after I got done reading it. Um, it's just it didn't do what I was expecting it to be. It really wanted to be more like Nonstop Spider-Man, and even though I believe it's the same team, just the quality isn't there. I don't know what happened. Uh, Going over the cover real quick, we see the Savage Spider-Man, and the cover was drawn by Nick Bradshaw. Uh, Nick Bradshaw does a lot of cover that honestly, and he's hit or miss. This one for me, the art itself does look good, but I don't know. I have personally never liked the other, which is what we see here with Spider-Man. I've never liked this Savage persona, so for me, I'm biased and I don't like seeing it. So of course, but I will unbiasedly say that the art is good. Simple as that. Okay, so now I'm going to be going over each page step by step, and honestly, kind of usually I just talk about what's going on in the book and stuff. But right here, since I am giving this a 1, I'm going to defend myself and say why I'm giving it a 1. I don't like to bring books down because there's a lot of work that goes into it, but sometimes it has to be done, unfortunately. But page 1 starts off with, you can see Peter Parker in his mind, I guess. He's feeling the effects of being the other, having the other take over while he is actually put in the back seat. And his thought process goes from being complex Peter Parker like processes to just very simple. My world is under my control. I am the center. I am the strongest. I am alpha. That's it. Like that's just his thought process as the other. And then I am king, which so far so good. I have no problem with any of this so far. It is nice to see this other persona. It's a story that we don't really get, but then we get Zemo. He comes in, and just Zemo off the bat, he doesn't talk the way I expected Zemo to talk. Like he does try to come off as alpha, right, and all that, but he has started using the lingo, like today's lingo, and I guess that's just showing my age. I don't see Baron Zemo saying the things that he says in this, and he hasn't said anything yet, but I'll point it out when he does. Um, but right now it's Zemo versus Savage Spider-Man. They're duking it out. Zemo, honestly, it's not really a fight. Savage Spider-Man is completely taking over. But then it gets to a point where Savage Spider-Man steps back. He's the king here, so he just wants to watch the fight, so he has some people under his control. He like did webbing all over their face, and he can control these people. So he's having these people fight Baron Zemo in kind of like this gladiator match, and he just wants them to kill Baron Zemo. He's not going to kill him himself, but he will have other people kill him. And Baron Zemo calls him out on this, and basically like takes down one person and says, "If you want to kill me, you're gonna have to do it yourself." You know, and of course, Savage Spider-Man comes in and does what he asked for. So he goes in and starts fighting himself. Luckily, Zemo has his agents come in, his goons, his henchmen. I don't know what you want to call them, but they come in, guns blazing. One guy is like obviously the second in command, I guess. They start attacking the Savage Spider-Man's goons, I guess, the people that he took over. And every time they get attacked, he feels it himself. So he has that kind of mental connection with them. One girl gets attacked. He can see that she had a kid, that she just wanted to help her daughter. Um, and then, so still here by this point, it's still not horrible. We are getting that Savage side, and it's basically just Savage Spider-Man versus Baron Zemo, which is great. Whatever. This is when it starts getting a little bit back down to the one for me. We get into the whole plot line of these purists. They don't have anything against other races or anything like that, but it's like they have to be completely African, completely European, completely whatever. So it's a pure gene pool is what they want. So what their plan is to get rid of the whole world, anybody that doesn't have pure blood in them, of whatever it is. So they don't discriminate like that. It just needs to be pure, which is, I guess, kind of like how in Harry Potter you got muggles and half muggles and things like that. Whatever. I feel like this is too big. Their plan to take over the world like this, it's so big, and they're meeting no opposition. It makes zero sense. I feel like there are plenty of heroes in this world that would have already kind of figured out what they're trying to do and stop it. Peter already kind of almost did, but wasn't able to. Again, this is also the same storyline from Nonstop, but in Nonstop, this was probably the worst part of it, and it wasn't that bad. Here, it's just a lot worse. I don't know how else to put it. It just doesn't really click with this storyline, I guess I can say. Um, but they're just getting ready to deploy their plan. Then we go back to Savage Island. I shouldn't say Savage Island. It's just Savage Spider-Man's current island. But for most of the book, for the rest of it, it's just them fighting, and I'm all for action, love it. But it's just shoot, 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 kill, 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 talking about shooting and killing, and that's it. There's not really much else going on there. I was hoping to see more of Peter fighting the Savage Spider-Man, which they do kind of show it because like again, he didn't try to kill Zemo at first, even though he could have, and then seeing the other people get hurt, Savage Spider-Man does try to protect the other people. So there's that kind of interference, but I wanted to see more of like inside the brain of him fighting, kind of like how we saw in Superior Spider-Man, things like that. Um, but moving on, the way the book is laid out, the panels, the way they're laid out, it's making it look like it's happening at the same time. So while Peter or Savage Spider-Man and Baron Zemo are fighting this other group of purists, I forget their name. They didn't even mention it here, I don't think. But they are doing their plan. They are enacting it. They've already kind of, I guess, poisoned the air in a small part of Memphis. So and it shows like some people that they have like their veins. You can see their veins. So basically, they're infected, but other people aren't. So at the same time that's happening, Savage Spider-Man just lost against Baron Zemo, and Baron kind of captures him, puts him in a chain, um, and a collar and chain, and that's it. To be continued. It will not be continued by me. I take that back. I am gonna finish it, but I'm not happy about it. I will say you guys can make your own assumptions. That's what this review is for, so you know what you're getting yourself into. Again, 1 out of 5 for me. If you feel differently about it, let me know why you thought it was better. I'm sure overall, if I read this book from 1 to 5, a complete book, it'd probably be a little bit different. But reading it monthly and separately like this is just not doing it any favors. So again, go into it with caution, and hopefully you like it. But I'm telling you right now, you're probably not going to like it, and it's unfortunately it's a theme with Spider-Man right now. None of the Spider titles that I am reading currently have been good at all. So um, this relaunch better do something, right? If you don't know, there's a relaunch happening with Spider-Man. It's going to start at a new #1 starting in April. So if you haven't jumped on a Spider-Man, that would be a good time to jump on it. I would not jump on Savage Spider-Man. That's just me. Um, but thank you guys for listening. If you want to find out what my top 3 books for the week were, make sure to check out my channel here on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify stuff, I do have a YouTube channel. I do a weekly show every Tuesday with co-host Omni City Comics and Vinyl Casket Comics. You can find them on Instagram with both those handles. And we just talk about our top 3 books of the week, any disappointments we had, and what we're looking forward to. We put them into a bracket to see ultimately what the best book was of 2022. So make sure to go check that out. And like, follow, subscribe, and the most important part is to share this with your friends. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.